Number 3, reinforcing effort and providing recognition. The definition is giving praise and valuing student effort to motivate them to excel.
One of our benefits was connecting. They can make a connection between effort and achievement. The students get to understand that the more effort they put in, the higher they're going to achieve. And another one was praise for completing challenging tasks. If a student, even if it's a basic skill, if it's challenging for them, you can praise them for it, as opposed to always praising the higher students for lower level, which is easier for them.
And then some limitations are you can overpraise some students for doing easy tasks. So if they have something that's really easy and you keep telling them, oh, very good job, you may be misleading them to thinking that they know the material, but they may not.
And also it takes away from the power of praising. If you do it too much, it ends up being meaningless. Mm-hmm. Right. And another one is also the opposite, too little. If you don't praise enough for struggling students, they may feel like, their effort doesn't count. So I guess when it comes to praise, it has to be balanced. It can be too much or too little. It has to be differentiated between your students. It's not going to look the same for your higher achieving students and the ones that are struggling. See? Any questions? Comments? Yes.
I just want to add that I remember that I was reading the Teaching as a Champion book, and there's a part where it says right is right. And if you praise something, you said, okay, very good, and it's only half the answer. That's what she was talking about. Not only easy tasks, but when you receive the half correct answer, that wouldn't help the students if we're praising them for only half the correct answer.
Yeah, it makes them become complacent.
But then at the same time, if it's a student that hardly participates ever or is struggling with the material, you can't just shut them down and be like, well, you're wrong. So it has to be, like we said, it has to be a balance in how you use it. But I definitely agree with what you're saying, that pushing the students to, do their best, not just stopping at halfway.
So maybe giving them effort for trying to participate and not necessarily for the content of whatever the question was, but just giving them that security that, okay, I can raise my hand and I'm not going to be, booed or ridiculed, humiliated in the classroom. May give them that boost or that self-esteem that, I can participate, and so
and with everything, continue. Yeah, it has to be balanced and sort of.
But you do have to make it very clear if you.
Okay, we had hit number 4, and it is homework and practice. And the reason it's so long is because we did homework first, we did definition, benefits, and limitations, and then we did practice the same. So the definition for homework is a strategy for having students practice skills and processes. It must teach the skill in class before you expect students to practice it at school or home.
Oh, and the benefit from giving the students homework is a way to extend learning outside of the classroom. And one of the limitations is that they might not have the resources that other students might, like maybe computers or all the materials they would have at home to complete that work that they didn't complete at school, and they might not have those materials like they do at the school at home.
Under limitations, it also talked about some of the students might not have the help at home, like the parents that can't read and help them. It also talked about you need to be sure that the quantity and the purpose of the homework it has some purpose. That when they come back, that the student did learn something with that homework. Okay. And then we have practice. The definition is it provides the opportunity for students to practice the skills expected to be known.
Oh, and one of the benefits is that it allows students enough time to sufficiently master a skill, so They will have practice the skill to know it by heart. You don't have to be guiding them and repeating it over and over like, okay, remember we need to do it this way or these are the steps. So they will know it automatically how to do it. That's one of the good things in practice.
Under benefits, it talks about how an athlete will practice and practice to get to a goal, you know, and it even says that practice makes perfect.
And one of the limitations is that practice should have a goal. Practice takes time and it can't be rushed. So what it's trying to say is that maybe practice doesn't make perfect, because if you just practice and practice and practice enough to get to that answer, then that's all you're going to do with it, but you're not going to get anything out of it then. Whether if you practice it to get to a goal to which you're trying to reach, it means that you're not going to let go of that practice that you've learned, but you're going to benefit from it in the long run.
And then it did read, it did say that practice, homework and practice is the bread and butter of the instructional repertoire. Okay?